Pevensey Castle is situated in the quiet village of Pevensey Bay, an area that once sat right on the southern edge of the English coastline. The outer walls were constructed by the Romans in the year 290 and used as a fort. It was naturally defensible given its strategic location on the peninsula. It was one of many forts along the English coastline that had been constructed and strengthened during the following years in order to protect from invasion. In the year 471, the fort was ransacked by raiders and left abandoned for more than a century. By the 6th century, the fort began to be inhabited once again, and by the time William the Conqueror and his attacking forces arrived from Normandy in 1066, it was a thriving and prosperous community. The Normans wasted no time in taking control of the fort, and over the following years set about constructing the castle within the walls that we see now today. Throughout the next several decades, Pevensey Castle was favoured by royalty and passed hands many times. Because of this, it saw many bloody battles both outside and within its walls. In the 15th century, the castle became a state prison. It held notable persons such as King James I of Scotland and Joan of Navarre, the second wife of Henry IV, who was accused by her stepson Henry V of witchcraft and plotting the king's death. Later, in 1558, with the looming threat of the invasion of the Spanish Armada, 2 gun emplacements were constructed on top of the towers, one of which still stands today and can be seen in the courtyard alongside a mound of trebuchet stones that were recovered from the castle moat. Finally, after withstanding 4 sieges, the castle fell into ruin and remained that way until the start of the Second World War, when the people of Sussex prepared for a potential invasion from German forces. Following the fall of France in 1940, this became an all too realistic reality. During this period, a command post was set up, the outer walls were reinforced, pillboxes for machine gun posts were constructed, cleverly disguised to look like natural fort walls, and a blockhouse for anti-tank weapons was constructed at the Roman West Gate. British, Canadian and American troops made Pevensey Castle their home and would train, live together and generally use it as a base of operations for the duration of the war. Though Pevensey Castle never saw modern battle, this period of time left an impressionable mark on the land that can still be felt to this day. These days, the castle is owned by the state. The inner walls are free for any to pass through and are popular with dog walkers and tourists. The inner walls of the castle itself are accessible for a fee. With such a long and interesting history, it is perhaps unsurprising that Pevensey Castle is said to be home to several ghosts. The Lady in White is said to have been seen many times over the years. Most commonly spotted walking atop the castle walls, she is thought to be the spirit of Lady Joan Pelham, whose husband owned the castle in 1394. For a period, her husband was away and had left the castle virtually undefended. During his absence, an invading force sprang up and was demanding the castle surrender to King Richard II. She would often be seen pacing the walls, anxious for her husband's return, and for him and his men to repel the looming threat. Others argued that the Lady in White is the spirit of Joan of Navarre, the wife of Henry IV that was imprisoned at the castle in 1419. It's worth noting, however, that the latter did not die at the castle and was later let out when her accuser, Henry V, felt remorse for her. A Roman centurion has also been seen by at least one witness atop the castle battlements, as well as the ghost of a drummer boy, who is said to be beating his drum to give warning of the impending Saxon attack. A man dressed in black has also been reported by several people in more recent years, around the footpaths between the Roman walls and the inner castle. The man appears to walk from the side of the castle towards a corner of the outer Roman walls, where he stands for periods of time looking at nothing before eventually disappearing. Little is known about this character, or who he could be, but one dog walker said upon drawing closer he could see straight through him. A black monk has also been seen within the grounds, though there is little information, but perhaps most interesting is that throughout the years, many people have said to have heard screams of dying soldiers drifting on the wind to the castle from the nearby site of the Battle of Hastings, which occurred in 1066.
What's up guys, so today we are here at Pevensey Castle. This is in Pevensey Bay near Eastbourne, East Sussex, and as you can see it's not a massive place, but there are several ghosts said to be here. We're here during the day and then we're coming back this evening to do a ghost walk in the area, and then we're going to come back again and set up the night vision cameras and see if we can capture anything throughout the night. So right now we're looking for the Grey Lady primarily, but as you can see there's quite a few people here. It's not very big, so the chances of actually seeing anything right now are pretty slim. We'll give you a little bit of a look around and then we'll probably get straight into the nighttime footage. So in every place that I visit there's always somewhere that I can't get into but it looks really interesting, and we've just found one here. Could be wrong, but that looks like it might be a war room from the Second World War down there. As you can see, it's got the dates over the top of the door. Unfortunately it's barricaded off and also padlocked. What secrets may it hide? Now we are in the North Tower basement. It looks kind of creepy, a little bit like a dungeon, but it was actually once used as a storage area. Very cold in this place compared to the rest of the building, but that could just be because there are massive windows all over the place. Anyway, we're going to go to the dungeon now, which is probably the most interesting part of the entire castle. So let's go and check it out. Jesus. Pretty cool. Alright, so now we are down in the actual dungeon itself. As you can see, it's not a very big space, but it's thought at least to hold prisoners down here. Very echoey, very cold and dark. If there is anything in here with me at the moment, please rap on the wall or perhaps on metal grating on the floor. You move one of these little leaves up on the wall. I wasn't expecting much. I'm not sure if this actual area is haunted. Apparently the main ghosts are the lady that walks in the grounds above ground and the sounds of an ancient Roman army that have been heard outside the walls of the castle. Okay, so tucked just around the corner of the castle here, we're still inside the castle grounds, which you can see is a gun emplacement from World War II. So this area was heavily bombed during the World War II by the Germans, and they set up places like this to fire back at the planes. I imagine they would have had some heavy gun emplacements in there, or perhaps even if the Germans were to come onto the land, they could have used areas such as this to defend it. Nothing spooky, but I thought it was pretty cool.
So there isn't really all that much else to see of the castle itself these days, so I'm just going to show you a couple of images of the other areas that we visited. Following this, we did do a ghost walk, and then we returned to the area with night vision cameras and set up some EVP equipment.
Okay then guys, so we've just done the ghost walk. It was just me and my friend, as we were apparently the only ones that booked it for tonight, and we're now back in the grounds of Pevensey Castle. So I've got with me here, got two motion censored cameras as always. I'm going to be setting one of these up facing the castle walls, the battlement walls where the White Lady is said to pace along, and then just behind me over here there have been several sightings even in recent years of a man dressed in black walking down this path, and he goes across the main path here and down, I believe it's just there, he stands in that corner looking out over the road. And so this man is definitely not alive because you can see straight through him, but we're going to be putting one camera just down there in that corner where he appears, and the other one just around the corner to our left, facing the battlements of the tower. Let's see what we can get. That'll do. So that's the first camera set up, propped up on this fence here. The reason we've put it here, so we can just focus the torch a little bit. Obviously up the top here it's overlooking the castle walls. Just over here. That's the dungeon directly ahead of us, just there. And then to the right more, this is the second tower. Now, in 1987 there were a group of 12 people that were camped just over to our right, and they actually saw the white lady walking around the corner of that tower, and she came down the hill into the moat and then walked along and disappeared to the right here. Disappeared straight into those bushes over there, if you can see that. So they're not the only ones that have seen her here, but that's just the most recent. So we're going to leave this camera here for a while and come back to it later, and let's go and set up the second one. Okay, so now we're down the bottom end of the castle on the outer walls. We've set up the second camera just here to my right, obviously facing where that man was said to walk down by the Roman postern gate, which is now just a complete solid wall, but he stands here looking out just over this way, and he's been known to stand there for a long time, talking like half an hour or so at least. So again, we're going to head back up to the walls now, leave the cameras running for a little bit and then come back to check on them, and we'll find out what we get together. Alright then guys, so it's getting pretty late now, it's a little before midnight. Been out here for a couple of hours, and starting just along the left hand side of the castle walls here, I'm going to scan along the top of the battlements, which again is where we've got the best hopes of seeing this lady, over the tower here. And as it has been for the last couple of hours, we're not seeing anything. But unfortunately, you're obviously never guaranteed to see anything doing these things. There's sightings are few and far between, but one of these days we may well get lucky. Right then guys, so now I'm standing as close to the interior of the castle as we can get at this time of day, or night should I say. Obviously the main gate's behind me here. Got my phone out so we can do some EVP sessions whilst we're here, see if we can pick up anything. I'll just give you a quick look inside the actual castle itself, if you can see through there. See the far walls back there. And then we can probably see just to our left into this turret area as well here. Just through here, there's a grate on the floor, if you can see that. That's one of the dungeons down there. And if there's anything here with us tonight, please make a knocking noise or throw a pebble, do anything to show us you're here with us. And again on this side we might be able to see through to this dungeon over here, if we're lucky. If you can just make out the stairs around there, probably not, it's getting very dark and late. White lady, if you're up there somewhere, you say something or do whatever you can to let us know that you're here with us. So yeah, unfortunately nothing happening right now whilst we're here, but we're going to review the footage that we've got, night vision cameras, video footage, and of course the EVPs as well, and put it all together, see what we can come up with. I'll see you back at home. Unfortunately the night cams didn't pick up anything on video, but we did get a couple of strange images, the first of which is this, which looks almost as if somebody is standing on top of the castle shining a beam of light into the sky. I have zoomed in, I've altered the levels, I can't work out what this could be. And the second is this thing here, which I have circled in the second image to give you a clearer look. I've also played with the levels.
This is where the white lady was actually spotted before. Now, again, I'm not too sure what this could be. And after this, I'm going to play for you a short EVP clip that we recorded in the castle earlier that day, which kind of creeps me out, I'm not going to lie. Wish I brought my pen now. I've got a pen. Wish I brought my pen now. I've got a pen.
So there we have it, guys. That was Pevensey Castle, the first castle in this new series. I'd love to hear your thoughts of it down in the comments below. Did you enjoy the video? Have you been to Pevensey Castle, or are you planning on going after watching this video? Those of you that are newer to my channel, I'm also doing a haunted hotel series, so be sure to check that out. Any love and support you can throw my way is greatly appreciated. A subscribe or a like on the video massively helps a baby channel such as myself. And I just want to take this moment to thank all of you that have been here from the start again. You guys are awesome, and I will see you all in the next one.